Madison County has its first case of COVID-19. Thank you for joining us. I'm Connor Board. Mike has the night off. We now have 39 confirmed cases in Alabama, 2 of those in North Alabama. We are here to keep you informed. Facts, not fear. So here are the latest numbers. 39 cases across the state, 1 in Madison County and 1 in Limestone County. Both of those people working on Redstone Arsenal. And 21 cases now in Jefferson County. Nationwide, we are closing in on 6,000 people, with 97 of those dying from the virus. This new confirmed case in Madison County is a civilian who works in the pharmacy at Fox Army Health Center. That person is now in quarantine and the pharmacy is closed for at least a week. That first case in North Alabama was an employee of Marshall Space Flight Center, also on the Arsenal. Kelly Kennedy has the latest.
The Huntsville Hospital CEO says the person that tested positive for COVID-19 is in self-quarantine at home. They didn't release the age of the person, but say they believe they are a low-risk patient. Huntsville Hospital says they're waiting for test results for about 20 more people, and now they're putting the drive-through testing sites on hold. They say it won't happen until they have enough test kits available.
None of us want to open up a drive-through only to find out we've got 50 kits, because more people than that may show up. So working with lab vendors, we hope that the lab vendors that are all working very hard on this will have adequate supplies of test kits in the very near future.
Local restaurants are adapting by practicing social distancing and closing dining rooms. Madison Mayor Paul Finley says they want to help keep those businesses open as long as possible.
Most of the establishments are using the 50% rule that the state gave a couple of days ago. Jefferson County a day later changed because of what happened there. We will too. It's a fluid situation. The line is listening to the healthcare authorities and a lot of common sense.
Huntsville Hospital is holding daily calls and say they will announce any changes being made. Putting the Valley first, Kelly Kennedy, WZDX News.
Tomorrow, Huntsville Hospital will open a fever and flu clinic at 120 Governor's Drive. It will operate from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. For details on who should go to this clinic and how it will work, just go to rocketcitynow.com.